Alright. I think we're good now. Everything looks like it's good. So today we're doing something a little bit different. Frequent member of chat, current subscriber, Yaz Birth Control wanted to see their Ancient Tomb Death Attack as deck list run, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. I own all these cards already, so it's pretty easy, even without sponsorship or whatever. But since I wasn't sold on the idea of Ancient Tomb, but Yaz seemed pretty into it, it's definitely worth a try. Just feels... the one thing that's bugging me just right off the bat of this deck list, let's bring these chalices over here, is, like, I don't know if this deck wants 3 Ancient Tombs and then also 24 lands. I think on that, like, 3 Ancient Tomb build, you could probably be pretty easily on 23, which is, like, the normal number. Because you get the extra mana from 3 Ancient Tombs still, without needing to possibly have all 24. But maybe it's for, like, white source numbers. If you wanted 23 lands, you might have to, like, cut another port or cut an Ancient Tomb. I don't know. Deck list looks like more slanted against combo, though, which is not... I'm not sure if that's where I want to be in this format right now, but... just with the ability to, like, play Chalice on turn 1 against a lot of decks, it also probably warrants some different sideboard considerations. Like, Chalice might be worth bringing in against Grixis now that we just have a playset, and then we can jam them on turn 1 some number of games. They're just definitely... also no Palace Jailer with Ancient Tombs. I don't know if that's just, like, a preference thing, because I know some people do not like Palace Jailer, myself included. At some point, I've kind of turned around on it. But oh, I didn't change the stream title. Oops. Alright. That looks better. Okay, anyway, what was I saying? Just initial thoughts on the deck, I guess. It's like with so little double colorless requirements, I'm like just not sure if I want to be on Ancient Tombs, and like maybe it's worth looking at an Ancient Tomb deck with like Chalices in the main and Plows in the sideboard, since Plow is also kind of weak against, or relatively weak against some of the decks in the format right now, like Grixis and Miracles and most of the combo decks. So maybe having like Game 1 Chalice is better than having Game 1 Swords of Plowshares. Then we're venturing towards the territory of like Soldier Stompy and stuff, but I have seen iterations of like Ancient Tomb Chalice just in D&T, and I haven't played one before, and it felt pretty good. But other than that, just like Ancient Tomb doesn't like, it helps you in the mirror or something. You can play turn 2 Stoneforge, turn 3 you can like cast and equip the GTA in the same turn for like surprise GTA turn early, or like just power out Recruiter of the Guards and stuff, but it just seems hard to double spell even with Ancient Tombs in the deck. I guess on turn 3, if you have like Plains Tomb, you can go like Thalia plus Stoneforge or something. 3-drop plus like Plow or Mom. But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. Most of these thoughts I had shared with Yaz at the time, but I mean I doubt it can be that much worse or even that much better than normal Death and Taxes, just based on there are pretty minimal changes in the deck list. So like we can still just play a Death and Taxes game and do fine. Having Ancient Tombs in the deck are probably not significant percentage points lost. It's riskier against the aggro decks like Delver, but sometimes you can also like be playing around Daze, so not all downside against Delver, but usually the life loss is like pretty unwarranted. Double file turn 1 would be a sick play. Also, is like scales pretty hard with Walking Ballista, which is I guess a 1-of in the deck though. Maybe you play a second Ballista if you're on Ancient Tombs as well. 5x burn. I mean, well, you can like Ancient Tomb Chalice on one them at least. If you like put Chalice on one and Chalice on two, or like Chalice on one, Prelate on two, then like can't cast spells that aren't Fire Blast or Sulfuric Vortex. But yeah, we're just gonna play against like Burn, Delver, just a bunch of bullshit that Ancient Tomb just makes me feel really bad against. Blue-red Delver, Burn. I'd be very confused if my opponent went Tomb into Double File. That would be I would not know what to say about that. I guess I would just assume Ancient Tomb Death and Taxes now that I see this list, but I might assume some like weird BS deck. But it's hard because almost all the Ancient Tomb decks are Chalice of the Void decks, and like Chalice of the Void and Aether Vial have the obvious anti-synergy. Like, the decks with Ancient Tomb and Chalice really want to Chalice on one on turn one, but decks with Aether Vial and lands really want to Aether Vial on turn one, so it's tough. I don't know what's taking this league so long. Usually it fires off pretty quick here. This is a vintage league yesterday that had like I think 5 minutes before one of the things fired. But the legacy league has over 4 times the amount of active players. I think there were like 80 or something in the vintage one. Maybe it was even 60, I forget. Imagine the modern one's like 600 or 700 or some nonsense. Anyway, let's tax some people. Really just want to hit a string of like combo decks and stuff, I imagine. Oh man. Now we're in the priority queue. Or not. Oh no. Because just having like 4 Chalice of the Voids on the board and some Ancient Tombs, I think just means that a lot of the decks that rely more on 1-drops, like you're probably boarding in Chalice more aggressively with this deck. Like, I don't board in Chalice against Delver as normal Death and Taxes, but you might as this deck. But even then, you're still turning off your plows. I think I want to board them in against Grixis, now that you have like 4 and Ancient Tombs to try to hit cantrips. Oh, we could double Vial, but we can't double Vial. I think this hand's a keep. We're on the draw. We have double like Vial. We have Wasteland to slow them down. There are a lot of like grindy matchups in this format right now, where like this hand is good, but maybe this hand is incredibly slow. We just don't want them to be on like Storm. God, I really want to Wasteland this Underground Sea. That was just about the worst draw on the deck, wasn't it? I think I'm going to play Vial, though. We need to develop our mana more than we want to try to stifle my opponents. Just blue-black Reanimator, huh? Well, we have Caracas in play, at least. But they do get to draw 7. We also have a main deck Remorseful Cleric, which we can at least go get on, like, turn 3 if we draw a 3rd land for this Recruiter. Well, opponent's gonna, like, go to 10 cards, but then they're at 5 life. Turn 4 nuke their grave. It could be turn 3 if we hit the 3rd land. Guaranteed turn 4. But hopefully they don't discard any fatties to clean up. That's all we care about. Oh, nice. Well, that's not nice. I don't think I want to wasteland them because of the thing that I was just talking about. I think I just want to like make sure I have 3 lands in play. So I think I'm just gonna play out the second vial. I don't have to Karakas this yet, right? Interesting that my opponent just like on blue-black Reanimator. Kind of a not so common deck nowadays. You can have that one back, opponent. Entomb for what? Like a gravy train? Tidespout. Well, that's scary. You get like the deck list up so I can look at it. So I don't actually know what's in like my own deck at this point. Alright, so we have nothing to deal with a Tidespout Tyrant in the main deck, it looks like. Oh, well, we have a Swords of Plowshares, I guess. Hopefully my opponent does not have a Force of Will. Blue's no counter. Well, they have a counter. They also could, like, bounce my Vial. I guess I just get to replay it, but... Not looking great. Force bitch force. So they have 3 cards in, or I guess 4 now after they draw, because they have a Grizzlebrand in hand, which doesn't do anything. But if they just like chain cantrips, it gets bad for us. Stoneforge. So in order to cast a spell here, I need to use this Karakas as like a Lotus Petal, which seems great. Or to like cast a Wisp or something. What's up, Static? I could like recruit a Mom here just to like try to put as many creatures into play as possible. It's actually not the worst, but I might just want to go get Cleric just in case. Opponent doesn't have any spells to cast yet, at least. I can also just cast nothing and prevent my opponent from, like, trying to Tidespout stuff. But the problem is if they do have spells to cast, they can just keep bouncing my Aether Vial and stuff. So I think I just want to get on the board. D&D where I'm a war machine from ancient history. That sounds actually pretty dope. Yeah, this was what I was concerned with. You're playing into days. And my opponent just, like, finds, yeah, cantrips, and then he's gonna, like, bounce all my stuff. I'm just gonna, like, bounce both my lands here. There's a chance I should have cast nothing. They could always have, like, just dazed their own Ponder, though. we can still find one of our other 3 plows, I think. So he's like in tomb here. Just like make a grizzle branch too. Animated my recruiter. Oh, why don't they just? Can they even tutor stuff? Just want an O1 to chump block, just in case. Yeah, they just failed to find. I mean, I guess their Grizzlebrain just gets Karakas away. Yeah, I will. I guess I shouldn't concede. We can still draw, like, exactly Swords to Plowshares. Probably supposed to discard second vial, but it doesn't actually matter. Roleplaying is easy because I don't have to figure things out. I can just not know. The easiest way to roleplay is to be yourself. Just don't understand anything. Alright, so we have 3 outs in our 47 card deck. Not good odds, for sure. Alright, we did. Blue-black traditionally is like a pretty good matchup for Death and Taxes, though. We kept a pretty slow hand, knowing that we were pretty soft to combo, so... Did I board all this in? Do I want... I feel like I want Chalices, but I also want Plows, so it's weird. I guess when you have one, you don't really need the other as much. Just cut... Moms... Now I'm down 1 card. I can't put in, like, a Stoneforge. A Mom seems pretty bad, but, Constantly remembering what he does and doesn't know. That's when it gets hard. Like, when you know stuff about the story, but, like, your character's not supposed to know. Metagame thinking is pretty rough when you're in terms of role-playing. Death and Taxes for the win. Thanks for the host. Hope your stream went well, Phil. Greetings to all of Phil's viewers. Hello, hello. We're in round 1 of playing some Ancient Tomb and Taxes. Yeah, it's a lot easier when you and your character know the same amount of information, so you don't accidentally like have a thought for your character that. Yes, hello all the other D&T players, I'm sure. Play a lot of Death and Taxes here as well. Brightling really was just hype. No, not necessarily. Brightling is still a good card, but Grixis control rose pretty quickly after Brightling was pretty popular. If there were less Baleful Strix in the format, I would be all over Brightling, but too many Baleful Strixes for me to like it as much right now. Do I keep this against Reanimator? I think that's okay. Yeah, Brightling still great the less Grixis you're playing against, but the more Grixis you're playing against, the more you want, like, Mirren Crusaders and Hallowed Spirit Keepers and just, like, grindy cards. We can play our Thalia around a Daze next turn. Can you imagine if Brightling had first strike? Yeah, Brightling with first strike instead of Vigilance would be fucked up. Thoughtseize, huh? It's kind of rude. But we have a lot of Deist cards here. I assume they take the Thalia. Then we can still revoke Grizzlebrand. Do have to be wary of stuff like Massacre, but we don't really have the tools to beat a Massacre right now. Yeah, just like eat Skirmog Anglers. It just like it'd just be so fucked up because you could like first strike stuff and then pick it back up like you can with Thalias, except also with like 5 power instead. Grizzle Daddy. We're not gonna attack. Blue-Black Reanimator can easily have like bounce spells or removal spells. Rather protect the Revoker than deal my opponent 1. Obviously, again, if they have Massacre, it's kind of shitty, but... So the only thing we're really scared of is, like, Inkwell Leviathan? We're pretty well set up to beat non-Inkwell Leviathan cards. Oh, shit. I definitely clicked on that Phyrexian Revoker. Damn it. Don't even know if I want to develop this Wisp, honestly. Like, just playing super hard into a Massacre. Like, maybe I need more of a clock, though, than, like, 2 a turn. Probably. I bet they just have had days in their hand this whole game. We should, like, play circles around it. Sure. The old end step brainstorm. I would want more of a clock than 0 turn. Shh. I definitely didn't miss that attack. I straight up clicked on my Phyrexian Revoker. Fucking Moto. If that 2 damage comes to bite me, I blame Moto for my loss. Definitely went to attacks and clicked on Phyrexian Revoker, but then, like, just clicked OK, assuming that the attack went through instead of waiting to see it, like, highlight and move forward or whatever. Alright, well, just trying to dodge Massacre here. And even if they do Massacre me, we can still have answers with, like, their first couple of... or their first non-type bow tyrant threats. Yeah. I got 2. You get 1. Oh, they do have Massacre. Boo. Oh, hey, that's a pretty good one. Pretty good follow-up. I think I'm just going to go to 14, leave up, like, Swords of Plowshares or whatever. I don't really know what I would want to plow or Caracas, especially with a Remorseful Cleric in play, but I also don't think being at 14 is a big deal. Maybe it is. Yeah, we're just going to cast it like that. Pretty solid top deck. My opponent just needs to kill it before they cast an Entomb or a Looting or whatever. Unless they have, if they have their Show and Tells in, but then again, we have the... I guess that maybe that's a reason to leave up white. If my opponent had, like, Show and Tell and Grizzlebrand and drawn 7 cards, they could find another Thoughtseize for the sword. We still have Caracas for the Grizzlebrand, though, so... I don't know. I wonder if I'm supposed to just tutor for Fairy Macabre here. Just to really seal the deal. They could just force this, I guess. Nope. I could, like, just get Flickerwist to try and up my clock. I could get a Sanctum Prelate to turn them off of, like, a second Massacre. I could just get Fairy for extra insulation and just try to 3-a-turn them. I think it's between, like, Prelate, Wisp, Fairy. We have the Remorseful Cleric in play. So I guess my biggest concern is, like, Show and Tell. I feel like Prelate on 3, but then, again, we're dying to a second Massacre at that stage. I like a Fairy just to, like, make sure my opponent can't kill me, but they already need to answer this Remorseful Cleric. Maybe it is just, like, Prelate or Wisp. Yeah, let's do Wisp. I think we're pretty safe from, like, my opponent going off with non-show and tell things. God, discard. Immediately get punished for my decision. The old Legacy Vampiric Tutor. Also known as the longest card in Legacy to resolve. Besides maybe Doomsday, but good Doomsday players know their piles. Lim's Jewel's Vault is just totally random. Just like punting the shit out of this game. They're gonna. Oh, I guess it didn't matter if I went to try to find Sanctum Prelate to beat a Show and Tell. Doomsday Pals are fast. Vault takes. Yeah, exactly. Vault takes forever. At least Goblin Recruiter is banned. Doomsday Pals are also slow when your opponent, like, doesn't know what they're getting. Like, if it's like, okay, do I have a Doomsday Pile that can win in this, like, board state, or what I know about my opponent's hand or whatever? The Doomsday Piles where it's just like, oh, you're dead, those are easy. Unban Goblin. Please no. Please never unban Goblin Recruiter. Flusterstorm on Flusterstorm. MTG. Alright, maybe that's fair. I've never cast a Flusterstorm, so. Limduel's Vault better or worse than Petals of Insight? I don't even know what Petals of Insight does. Petals of Insight. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put those cards on the bottom of your library in any order. If you do, return it to your hand. Otherwise, draw 3 cards. Oh, so this is... It's just Limduel's Vault except 3 cards a turn, and then you get all the cards you look at the end. That is pretty obnoxious. I guess Limduel's Vault's slightly better there, because it's 5 cards at a turn, at least. Merc Savage, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Wow, opponent just, like, top 5 cards to snap it off. How does it feel? Stack your deck if you have Omniscience. Well, no, right? Because you have to do it in, like, pairs of 3 all the time still, right? E on 2. Sure, I guess so now we're gonna go grab a, we're gonna Wisp our Recruiter for, Fairy now. My opponent plans to kill my Remorseful Cleric. Yeah, if you have Omni in play and you're resolving Petals, it's just like, okay, time to go find my combo. With Limduel's Vault, it's like, okay, what do I need here? Is this pile good enough? Should I dig for, like, a better one? Oh yeah, if your deck isn't divisible by 3, you get a new pile. But it's not, like, exactly stack your deck, because they're, like, in those weird chunks. I think. I don't fucking know. So I'll attack. Wasteland's okay. Guess I'll exile their yard. Can put them down to 2 mana here. Unless this gets forced, I guess I'm happy to have grabbed a Flicker Wisp. Because now this can go get me Macabre, and now I just have, like, more pressure in play. There we go. gonna be the worst part about Ancient Tomb all day, is that stupid, you have floating mana in your pool thing. Now my opponent needs like another Thoughtseize or a Pithing Needle. Or again, a Show and Tell. Solution is simple, bring back mana burn. Wouldn't that just like still give me an annoying window? That's my only beef with it. Beat down. So my opponent hasn't shown me any green mana, but they also haven't fetched this game. I'm just seeing if I should be like thinking about Abrupt Decay as a possible option for my opponent, or maybe like Assassin's Trophy. I'm gonna put this Prelate on 3, I think. Actually, no. My opponent's at 5, yeah, we wanna... It's either 3 or 4. I guess my opponent could Show and Tell if I put it on 4, but if I put it on 3, I could just get massacred. Unfortunately, I also can't port, because this... I can't tap my mana in a way that I can cast Prelate and also port my opponent. The chance that I'm just not supposed to play this in case of Massacre or Show and Tell, and I can keep playing around Show and Tell by porting, I can keep playing around Massacre by not throwing my entire board into play. Let me just pass. Them going to 1 is like pretty close to 0 anyway. I also think that like doing a dance like this is a little bit unnecessary, but I think better safe than sorry. I don't think there are a lot of worlds in which we lose. Yeah, they like... if they take any amount of damage from this, they just die unless they find Massacre. And if they find Massacre, then we can follow up with Prelate on... Yeah, they're just dead. I wonder if that implies that they don't have a second Massacre in their deck. Yeah, exactly. Port plays around Show and Tell pretty well. Because, like, they could have tried to limb duels for the Massacre, at least, right? And then drawn that for turn, and then, like, killed my board and hoped that I had nothing left, besides the Macabre. But they just, like, looked at their top 5 and immediately conceded, like they had nothing left. I still don't really want this Mom in my deck, but... Notably, that 2 damage almost mattered. They could have been at 3 instead of 5, and I would have just, like, not had to play the Prelate at all. Like, I don't want this Mom in my deck, but, like, I don't want any of these cards in my deck either. The Wonderful Mom just got massacred last game, but... this is just fine. The old 9 1-drops, 4 Chalice of the Void plan. I think we're gonna mold this hand. We're on the draw against Reanimator. We need a more reactive plan than turn 2 Chalice on 1, maybe turn 3 Prelate on 2. Spirit Keeper versus the Massacre deck. Maybe that's like better than a Singleton Mom. It gives me like an extra board state. Yeesh. Oh man, we can... See, this is the issue I was talking about, is like... Chalice on 1, Aether Vial. I need an Aether Vial with this hand. I wonder if I'm supposed to go to 5. This hand is also pretty bad. But I can also Chalice on 1 and cross my fingers that gets them, but we just, like... We would have to play the Chalice on 1 on 2, because we need this Aether Vial in play. And this Council Judgment's just never getting cast. We get, like, a Thalia. I wonder if a 5 is better. My opponent does have Thoughtseizes in their deck, but if they turn 1 Thoughtseize me, like, this hand isn't any good either. I think I'd probably feel more comfortable with a 5 than this hand, but I'm not sure about that. We do get a Scry and, like, 2 draws before, like, we find a white source. If we find, like, a Recruiter, we can recruit a Fairy Macabre, Ancient Tomb. I'll keep this. See how poorly this goes for me. Yeah, they just thought, I mean, this is why I didn't want to mold a 5, because we're playing against a Thoughtseize deck. and 1-5 and keeping like 3 lands Rest in Peace, like Mirren Crusader or Flicker Wisp is like not good. Take the Chalice. Alright, well that makes my decision easy. We can just play this file now. I'm scared. It's a meaningful plan. I guess maybe they're playing around like. Wait, no. I can't turn one this Thalia. Oh, deal. Okay. Recross the past spell turn to 12 cards. I don't even know. I'm out. I'm good. Please stack your decks at your own regard. Hey, Chalice. Am I supposed to slam this? My opponent Thoughtseize my first Chalice. They have a Grizzlebrand in the yard, and only 3 cards in hand. So they would need to land 2-drop to punish, like, other than Reanimate. I feel like I'm supposed to just slam this Chalice on one and cross my fingers. Like, Petal Careful Study. Makes me really feel like this Chalice might get somewhere. Obviously just makes this 8th of Vial horrible. Our entire hand is uncastable, but it might be the only way we can, like, cheese a win here. Let's fucking go for it. So my Rashawn Ports finally messaged me the day before he requires a refund. God. The worst people. Yeah, I ordered, on a much smaller scale than your problem all the time, I ordered some, like, shitty Pokemon cards for my Spirit tokens for Spirit Keepers off of TCG Player, and I waited, like, 2 weeks, and it was, like, 6 to 8 day shipping, and I just messaged them yesterday being like, hey, where are my cards? And they're like, oh, we don't know where they are. I guess USPS lost them. Here's a full refund for your $3 order. It's like, fuck, I just need to order this again and wait another 6 to 8 days. I'm just gonna Wasteland this Underground Sea. Not like we're doing anything else. I would rather my opponent not have access to 2 mana for a 2 mana Reanimate spell. Pay them September 27th. Rip. That's pretty garbage. Ooh ho ho. Now we have a clock. Damn it. That's like 3 times now. Can someone keep count of how many times I have to click through that stupid Ancient Tomb step there? Ooh, I can recruit Fairy Macabre now, too. Assuming they don't have days here. They very well might. But there's no point in, like, not casting this, because I don't have anything else to do. Aw, man, they have days. That's rude. We're gonna look like a real idiot when they play a big guy and then I can't plow it because I have a Chalice on one. But this Chalice seems to be doing something. Can we draw another white source, please? I know I asked for 1 to play this Thalia, but in reality I would really love a 2nd. Just to be on the safe side. Notably, if they have Exhume, we get a Recruiter back. I don't know what that does, though. Can we draw things that cost less white mana? I guess this is also a problem with playing Ancient Tombs, is now I have 2 extra colorless sources in my deck. Because this deck cut a port and some number of planes for 3 Ancient Tombs. So my opponent just needs to find a 2-mana Reanimate spell. But if they find... Ooh. That's not that scary, I guess. We have Plows. We have Plow now. They can't even force my Swords to Plowshares if they reanimate their Grizzlebrand, because they take 8. I think reanimate CMC, right? How do they not know what they posted in their store? Yeah, some garbage tier sellers sometimes. I never traditionally order from eBay. Just work through like some pretty easy channels like Star City or TCG or whatever. It's all good. Yeah, people sometimes shitty. It happens. Also, for those of you in the chat that aren't aware, so we use Cardboard Live as the deck list on screen that you can click on it and interact with it and stuff. I think it's working. It should be working on mobile now. If anyone's on mobile wants to try that out, there's like a little puzzle piece. I think you can click on that, and you should be able to get a deck list even on mobile now, which is really cool. And something that always kind of bugged me about Stream Decker at times is that it doesn't always. Oh yeah, after especially after you get the cards. After you get the cards, you no longer have to deal with them for the rest of your life. They're going to 1 here, huh? I think we're gonna not plow this until I untap, because if we draw a white source, we just win on the spot with Council's Judgment. The issue is that if we don't, then we still have to plow this Grizzlebrand, and then they don't like have a card to rebuild. So maybe that's greedy, but I think I like our odds. It lets me like I can't play Chalice that turn anymore, but surprised you only want to run 1 Ballista. Same here. This is literally just Yaz's list. I made actual no edits, so I talked about that towards the beginning of the stream. I was like, I could see a second Ballista in here, but get greedy, get rewarded. Oh, nice. We got rewarded. You can have that back. Remorseful Cleric seems kind of. I've been actually trying to fit one into like my normal list. I kind of like Remorseful Cleric right now more than usual. Dredge has been kind of rising up the ranks, winning 2 legacy challenges, and then like the most recent one, it was 1st and 4th place. Extra rewarded. It was just Caracas. You don't even have to pay 4 mana. I am my biggest critique about this deck, like just from the get-go, is that I don't think you need 24 lands with 3 Ancient Tombs. I think 24 lands is a symptom of the deck being mana hungry and like totally reasonable as an option. Like the deck's pretty easily swaps between 23 and 24 lands depending on like the cards in your deck and your sort of preferences with it. But I think with 3 Ancient Tombs, you definitely don't need 24. Every week I go, should I play something like Crusader? And then every week it turns this Keef. It is just like randomly just bails you out of certain situations. Like that game too, we just drew it. I was like, oh, this is nice. They had Abrupt Decay, and then we had time to like recruit a Fairy Macabre and stuff. Did we just pair into the same guy? Alright, well. Do I keep this on the play against Reanimator? I guess. We can play around Days. We don't have that many good cards in our deck against Reanimator game 1. It's like Caracas and Recruiter for Remorseful Cleric. Good job, Moto. Just they just rejoined because I think they were 2-2, I think, and we just beat them. I forget. It was a long time ago. they just re-entered the league. Just gonna make sure this Thalia doesn't get dazed. This is gonna be 4th time I get this stupid window. Yeah, trading with Delvers is really cool. Like, it's not like, it has text on a lot of the matchups. Flying is relevant. 2 power flyer is relevant. 1 toughness is probably its biggest downside. I can't Stoneforge. I can't Stoneforge and port them. Can't split Ancient Tomb's mana like that. I don't think Wisp is very good here. I think I'm just rather Stoneforge for stuff. Plan on play plus equip sword next turn or something like that. Just having trouble fitting a lot of like the niche 1-of cards I want in the deck, like just into the whole thing. Like I want a Remorseful Cleric. I kind of want a 24th land. Ooh. But I'm just like switch to Omni. Interesting. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Definitely not enough to kill them. We're probably dead. We can recruit for a 2-drop. We're like 1 mana away from like casting Prelate. The Prelate doesn't matter, right? We can't stop Emrakul. I think we just need to like slam them for as much as possible and hope they don't have Emrakul in their hand. So hit them for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here. Put them to 5. Which means I guess I equipped the Thalia. For sacking stuff to a single Emrakul, we can keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can keep like Thalia plus sword and try to kill them. Alright, well, if they only have 1 Emrakul, then we're okay. If they have, like, anything else, we're super dead, but that's life. Hatchback Honda, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Intuition for 3 Emrakuls, you can have that one. So we can beat 1 Emrakul, right? It's just, if they have anything else after the Emrakul, we die. Oh, like that Grizzlebrand. Take that. definitely full destruction. Not like we were definitely dead. Because we could, like, yeah, even if we draw Caracas, we're still, like, not winning. They just cast the Emrakul again next turn. Just kind of messing around. So opponent is now playing Omni. Because they got tired of, losing with Blue-Black Reanimator. Seems like fine sideboard slot ins. Cut Jite, cut Plows. Guess cut like 2 moms? Again, we're just like leaving it awkward numbers of moms because they're not super good with Chalice, and I mean, we could cut like Remorseful Cleric or Mirren Crusader or something, but or Walking Ballista, but none of those cards seem super great. Other runes you can always just play turn 1 if you don't have a Chalice draw, or sometimes you can Violet in. I think I'm supposed to keep this hand. I'm gonna play against Omni, seems fine. We have Caracas to beat their non-Omniscience hands. We have Recruiter for like Sanctum Prelate, or like Leon Relic Order, stuff like that. Probably just casting the Solion too into a Force. I like Spirit Keeper against Emrakul decks with Sweepers. I don't like it as much against Emrakul decks that specifically just like cast Emrakul and kill you with it. Like when they show Intelligent, it's easier to beat, but when they're just casting Emrakul and getting an extra turn, you're not gonna win because you made some spirits, typically. So I can play my Thalia around Daze. I don't really think that my opponent is a Daze deck, but notably I could also just power out a Recruiter. Try to go for like Violent Thalia plus turn 3 Sanctum Prelate. But I think I like playing Thalia here to tax them. Not actually sure. It's tempting to do the other thing, but I'm kind of scared of show and tell at this stage. But hiding, yeah. Considering, I don't know how much I care about hiding Caracas in this matchup though. They generally try to go for Omni if they can anyway. I kind of like powering out Recruiter for Sanctum Prelate here. We're actually gonna go with that. This might be wrong, but I think getting a Sanctum Prelate in play is really big game. Could get Leonin Relic Order if I wanted to play it safe. I guess that does kind of help against Omniscience as well. The Sanctum Prelate just on 3. Maybe we get Relic Order and then like just Flicker Wisp my Recruiter to go get Prelate or something. Or maybe I do the opposite. Ancient Tomb. Yeah, we're trying out Ancient Tomb and taxes. Oh man, am I gonna get like super... Oh no, my opponent just has infinite mana. It's just like Sneak Attack, Activate. Sack all my permanents. Really wish I had a Thalia in play. Well, they just Grizzlebrand me. And don't draw an Emrakul. They need like a 3rd Lotus Petal plus Emrakul. Now the issue is that they can like definitely force up will my Flicker Wisp with 17 cards in hand, so I can't just go get a Revoker or whatever. Would have really liked to have A, a Thalia in play, or B, a Leonin Relic Order. Well, now they move to discard, I guess. What the heck is going on with Moto here? Puts triggered ability from Sneak Attack onto the stack. 88250, comma 563 colon at the beginning of the next 10 step. Has it been awful so far? Well, we're 1-0, and I think we're about to be 1-1. But Ancient Tomb hasn't really done anything miraculous. It's just been, like, kind of a card. It tempted me into playing this Recruiter instead of the Thalia, which obviously is not like the deck's fault. It was just, like, a line that we decided to make that happened to be worse against what the opponent was doing. Hard to play around turn, like, hard to expect turn 2 sneak attack activate, though. You needed, like, exactly second pedal, which they didn't have because they only played one to play around Thalia. So they drew second pedal and Soul Land to activate sneak attack here. I think just being able to, like, Valen Thalia plus Prelate next turn was pretty lights out. Yeah, no problem. I'll be sure to post it to YouTube. Neat. Oh, we just drew Relic Order? That might actually get me somewhere. So, if they don't have Force, which seems pretty impossible, especially considering they discarded one, we could Violin Thalia and then just cast Relic Order on this. But then I don't get Sanctum Prelate into play, and my concern is that they now have, like, access to Show and Tell. There's no way for me to, like, get Prelate into play and also Relic Ward this without opening up the Prelate to a counterspell. Maybe my opponent won't counter the Prelate if I just cast it here. I doubt it, but I think it's our best shot. Just cast Thalia, leave up Caracas, Violin Warder. I don't know how much I like that, because I'm concerned about Omniscience. My opponent discarded one, so if my opponent's on, like, the Show and Tell plan, we're pretty boned. Force Pitch, Cunning Wish, sure. Five times. Oh, yeah, thank you. I was about to mention, yeah. The worst part of playing Ancient Tomb in this deck is that whenever you cast a spell that requires only the one colorless mana, and you just let the other colorless mana float, then it's just the actual worst because you always have to click through that. You have mana floating in your mana pool. Are you sure you want to move phases? Yeah, my opponent just brings a thing to Show and Tell. We'll bring a Flicker Wisp to Show and Tell. So I can... None of my Flicker options are good. Flicker Omniscience and then attack them for like 6 and hope to draw another Wisp, I guess, is the best plan. Oh, Jesus. Response free Abrade. Oof. Now they can just kill me, assuming they have a guy in hand. Which I assume they do, because they drew 21 cards or something. You got it? Yeah. Yeah, I think we could have won if we had played Thalia on that turn too, but I think it's also a tough call. If we play Thalia on turn 2, we're just... The more we're putting off that Thalia, the longer it takes us to get Prelate in play, and Prelate's like the actual, the much harder lock for my opponent to beat. But maybe it's worth just trying to like disrupt them on that turn. My main concern is that by playing Thalia, my opponent can just still hit lands and race my plan to get to Sanctum Prelate. I mean, opponent had a good hand, but we had the tools to beat it based on like a couple of the choices we made that game. But yeah, obviously, turn 2 sneak attack plus activate is a pretty good hand from sneak. You need the double Lotus Petal Soul Land. What was my other? What did I do? I didn't have a Violent 2 yet, because I played Recruiter on 2, so I didn't have a Violent 2 quite yet. They get that connection unless I literally just cast Volley on turn 2. Alright, we're finally not playing against that opponent. This hand is pretty medium. I can almost cast this Batterskull. I'm tempted to keep this. This hand's like okay. It's definitely not good, though. I wonder if they force Dahlia that you cast on the previous turn instead of Prelate. That's also... I think they do. Like, if they just, like, look at their own hand. And they're like, alright, well, we can beat everything, right? As long as we just force whatever my opponent casts, and then show and tell into Omniscience into Emrakul or whatever they had. I kind of want to keep this hand. Either Rattle's a really good card. I'm going to keep it. Oh, we're actually playing against Burn. Oh, no, we're playing against Goblins. Hey, it's a pretty good card against Goblins. Can you go let in the cat? She's whining.
Mm.
My opponent ports me, I don't really care. I might just play Ballista for 1. Multiple plows is definitely nice. Tempted to play Ballista for 1, especially to play around Lackey. Although we can play around Lackey by just like playing another white source, right? I kind of just like having a Ballista. I can also just like play it for 2 in the coming turns. Rather than like trying to pump it a bunch. Yeah, I think we'll just do that. You can still pretty easily play around Lackey here. I don't have it. I'm just so unfamiliar with the Goblins matchup. Wasteland is kind of annoying. Am I gonna crater my Vial? It's like vaguely rude. They do it in my upkeep, right? Playing around like cratering a mom instead. Yeah. Ooh, now we just revoke their Vial. Play a Ballista on 1 or something. I'm like Wasteland my Ancient Tomb if they want. Otherwise, we can keep like start pumping up this Ballista. But shutting off their Aether Vial is usually a pretty big game, because Goblins is even more mana hungry than D&T is. So I think if they want to use their wastelands on me, then I'm kind of fine with that. Considering we have their vial shut off for now, at least. The double wasteland maybe gets a little bit uglier. If you had Mom there, I think it's correct to not put it in. So yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. I would have just done it in the upkeep, because I assume that they're not activating Crater Maker there, so that if I had a Mom, they could just snipe the Mom with the Crater Maker instead. They're gonna port me? If they port me, we just fire off a plow. I wonder if it's like not even worth it to plow that, just because like that that lackey doesn't matter. So my opponent can like start wasteland porting me, but then they're just using all their mana every turn, and we have their vial turned off, and we can just keep hitting them with Heroic or Ballista. They could, of course, like, just play Trash Master or something. Just wreck my life. It's much more beatable than Trash Master. Can you go in, cat? So I assume their plan is just to port me again. Which is fine. No port. Oh shit, now we need to play the Stoneforge Mystic. Instead of this garbage Thalia. Go grab some GTAs here. Kind of scared that my opponent is in fact setting up Goblin Trashmaster. And just like nuke all my artifacts. But we can't really play around that with what we have going on. Cycle the Gem Palm Incinerator. That's mean. They have 2 goblins in play. Can't prevent it from killing my guy, but that's fine. This is also the trouble against the old Gobos, is that there are just so many Revoker things that it's just impossible to Revoker everything that you're scared of. Now there's just going to be like Matron for Trash Master, take Vial up to 4. Just wreck my life. We can at least plow the Trash Master, yeah. After they, like, shatter all of my equipment. They just, like, Violin... Take up Vial to 4, Violin Trash Master with Echo on the stack to sack the War Marshal. And the first target's going to be my Ballista, so whatever I ping... Oh, whoops, I was supposed to ping something. But whatever I ping, they just... They just can kill my Vial anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I think I was supposed to ping off one of their things in response. Because now I just ping their face. Yeah, at least UJ's not in play. My opponent's down to 1 card left in hand after we answer this Trash Master, so... It's, like, not the worst. But I might as well just gonna hit me for 4 and then eat my Vial with a Goblin token. Oh shit. Ah, fuck. What was I thinking? The Goblins was out of gas. Oh, geez. Chain Whirler, the Lackey, Chieftain. Alright, yeah, we're fucked. I think I would have rather, like, taken 2 less here than picking their face for 1, though. Like, force them to use the activation right now. But yeah, we're super fucking dead. Their hand is insane now. He's like, Plow Trashmaster. Oh, now they only have Chain Whirler and Chieftain left. We need to draw another land to have any chance. Nope. Because if we drew another land, we could try to get a GTA Online. As well as answer this Trashmaster, but... Now we're just, like, they're just gonna, like, bury me. They have Wasteland Port. I guess maybe I'm supposed to, like, let them attack first. Like, block the Goblin token. Just eat it. I guess Chieftain's not Lord, right? Oh no, it is Lord. Haste Lord. What's one that gives? Oh, what's one that gives them? The one that gives them a 1 mana discount. I don't even know what that card's called. All right, yeah, I'm done here. You got it, opponent. I think we were like reasonably in that game until the ringleader. We had a shot. Yeah. So this sideboard also notably just has like not a lot of anti-aggro tools, along with having Ancient Tombs. I wonder if I'm supposed to board in Cataclysm as a board wipe. Boarding in Cataclysm against the opposing Aether Vial deck is... Get out of your Chalice is probably not good. Spirit Keeper might actually be decent. It makes a ton of blockers, and this matchup is very controlly, and they just like kill a lot of your things. Cut like Thalias and Prelate. I don't like really like bringing in Cataclysm against the Aether Vial deck, but it might be worth bringing in Cataclysm against like the board wipe deck. Unsure. I think we just run it like this. I don't hate this configuration right here. Love to play first. I would love to Mulligan's hand. Well, I guess I'm keeping this. This mess. The issue is that, like, this hand does not beat Goblins. Goblins is not an aggro deck. Goblins is a control deck. They're just gonna cast Ringleader and my entire hand goes out the window. Fuck off, Lackey. If they, like, played an Aether Vial, I think I would Council's Judgment it, in all honesty. I'm not gonna plow any of these things, though. These little shitters. I don't know if I'm supposed to, like, blind Revoker. There are just too many things to hit, right? Gem Palm, Crater Maker, Trashmaster. And, like, no matter what I name, the other things are always just going to kill my Revoker. Maybe I just, like, name the worst case one, but they can't cast a Trashmaster yet. I wonder if I think I just keep it. Just pass the turn. If they play a Lord, we can just plow it. Naming Gem Bomb. Naming Gem Bomb works with Revoker. Cycling's an activated ability. Instead of, like, Chieftain here or whatever. Or War Chief, that's the other one. That's the one that gives discounts. I think I'm supposed to plow this War Chief. Quality. Ancient Tomb. I'm gonna try to stifle their mana, I guess. Again, I want to play this Revoker, but there's like nothing good to name that I just don't like die to everything else. Just like keep awkwardly passing the turn. My opponent still has 5 cards in hand. That's what counts. Like my 6 was not a good 6 to keep. It's like good enough, but it's definitely not like, oh, I'm gonna win now because I have 3 removal spells. Man, my opponent's gonna like make 1/1s and bury me. Ooh, that's a good one. Opponent is on 2 lands as well. Maybe I name like Gem Palm Incinerator now to play around them being able to kill my Stoneforge. The issue is that then if they're missing a 3rd land, so if they have Crater Maker, they can't activate it, and then we can GT it. So maybe I do just preemptively revoke Gem Palm Incinerator to ensure that this GT can connect. I don't hate that plan. I like Batterskull at 5 mana. I do not like Batterskull against my opponent that has like a million shatters in their deck. I want to get like more value than gaining some life. Gem Palm Incinerator. That's the one, right? I'm gonna hope it's the one because I'm too lazy to look it up. There's a chance like Sword of Fire Knights might be better because we need to draw cards. But I also like the ability to kill 2 goblins. Apparently there are like 4 cards with Gem Palm in the name, so. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oof. Protect the shadows with a bounce, I guess, but it also just like doesn't do anything, right? Just a 4/4. I think we're just gonna take 8. Then just like equip to the Stoneforge and attack in. If they block with the Chieftain, we just finish off the Chieftain. Maybe we can play Mom after we play an equip GT at least. Oh, they have like Pyrokinesis? Fuck. God damn it. Goblins is such a terrible mashup. This is like not a card that I'm playing that you just like realistically can't play around. It's 0 mana. Go let in the cat.
Oh right, I forgot.
It's because you fell asleep again.
Yep.
Just go.
Okay.
Yeah, that matchup is just horrendous for Death and Taxes, I think. I've definitely not played it a lot, but it just feels like a lot of their cards are just significantly better than yours. Realistically, the main way you can steal games is with Mana Denial, like cutting off Aether Vials with Revokers or Relic Order or whatever, and Wastelands and Ports, because their deck is very hungry for mana. But you cannot like long game play them, and your equipment is not super good because they have access to like so many effects that invalidate them. Zan's great. Put him mulligan to 6. Put him mulligan to 5. I always get scared when my opponents mulligan to 5 because I just assume they're on like something degenerate like Dredge, even though like sometimes you just do mulligan to 5. Lands is a deck that would make sense to mulligan to 5. We have Recruiter in our hand, which is the only, like, the step 1 of beating lands is find Sanctum Prelate. Step 2, put it into play. And step 3 is like equip with Sword of Fire and Ice to just auto win game 1. We have all of those pieces. I should probably build the deck if they're going to keep printing Busted Goblin's Legacy for like 3 sets. Oh, shoot, they have Cabal Pit already. So we need to be wary of Cabal Pit on my Sanctum Prelate. But they don't have Threshold yet. If we can get to having a sword in play before that. Otherwise, we have to, like, try to play circles around this Cabal Pit to success. Wait, they're playing Cabal Pit. Are they on Loam? Yeah, I just realized that this isn't a Barbarian Ring. My brain was just telling me this was a Barbarian Ring because they just, like, do the same thing. They just are lands that kill Sanctum Prelate, but I guess there just could be 4C. I've been tempted to buy into Goblins a couple times. It's, like, really cheap if you own Death and Taxes. Like, Lackey is the only expensive card, I think. I just, like, don't really want to cast anything into this. I guess I'll just play Thalia, because it's the worst card against them. Both 4-color Loam and lands, I don't really want a Thalia, so if they do have a removal spell for it, then be my guest. Oh, my opponent is also Hellbent, notably, which I just... I'm not registering any of this. My opponent just, like, mulled to 5 and kept a bunch of lands and Mox Diamonds and nothing else. Top deck Punishing Fire is a little bit obnoxious. Cavern's Ports and Wastelands. So yeah, exactly. And since I own all those cards because of my various legacy endeavors. So now we can go sort of Fire and Ice. And recruit for a Prelate, which is still really good. Even if my opponent is on 4-color Loam and not lands. Still kind of crushes them. They do have, like, one of Vindicate or one of Deluge that can sometimes answer your Prelate, but I think I'm still going to grab it just because this Punishing Fire looks really bad for me. If they find a Grove. Yeah, like, if you have to buy, like, Lackeys and a bunch of Draft Chaff to build Goblins. Opponent's 4 cards towards Threshold, if you include the Verdant they have in play. So we're just gonna, like, smack him with a sword here. I could spend this turn equipping the sword to my Prelate, but I think I just want to, like, start getting connections in. My opponent is, like, literally top decking. I don't even know if there's a card that can let them put 3 cards in their graveyard, like, the turn that they draw it. Unless it's, like, cycle land and cycle it into a Loam, and then cycle, and then Loam back the cycle land, and then cycle dredging the Loam or something, but... Let's draw some cards. I guess the Loam plan doesn't even work, because we're just going to, like, blind put this Prelate on 2, probably. I like to activate the Stone Board to put in the equipment before I Violin, or before I play the 4th land, to give them a little bit of hope that I don't have the 4th land in my hand. Yeah, we're just gonna, like, preemptively put this thing on 2. So, like, Deluge is the only card I'm scared of? Yeah, they just concede. Sweet. Especially give them open their Helmet. It's like, oh, maybe he can't equip it yet. I have, like, a turn to draw my Abrupt Decay or whatever. Nope. Alright, so for this matchup... Rips, Judgment, Spirit Keepers, Cataclysm. So, I like Surgical Extraction in this matchup. I do not like Fairy Macabre in this matchup nearly as much. So I think this is probably going to be what I sideboard. Makes my cuts a lot cleaner. I keep in the GTA and the Stoneforge now, which I usually board out, but I usually have like 10 or 11 cards to bring against this deck. And GTA is like not the worst. It's pretty bad, but not terrible. And this configuration looks okay. We have, notably, we do have a Remorseful Cleric to try and deal with Punishing Fires or Loams, as well as the Sanctum Pearl and the 2 Rest in Pieces, so it's not like being down the Surgical Extraction is a huge deal, but Surgical is nice to have. Relic Order tagging a Mox or Sylvan. I can see that. If I had like another card to board in, maybe? Because the issue is that my next 2 cuts on the list are immediately just this GTA that we have in our opening hand, so that's cool. And a Stoneforge. So I could buy boarding in Relic Order, but I'd kind of want to board in another card after that. Like Singleton Mom maybe is better than like Stoneforge plus GTA. So it's fine. Love Flicker. Yeah, Flicker Roasting Moxen is fun, but usually like you're not winning. Like you don't win the game super often by attacking their mana because this deck plays a ton of stuff. All right, later, mine. Have a good one. Man, I love their not Mox Diamond hands. They're so much less powerful than their Mox Diamond hands. When my opponent doesn't play Mox Diamond on turn 1, I just like breathe a sigh of relief every time. Just so much less scary when they're playing fair. They were just gonna like cast Misawa's GTA here. It's not good, but I don't want to play Rest in Peace until I have value to get out of it, because they have so many ways to blow up a rip. We don't have anything else to do with our mana. I'd port here if I could, like if I had a port in my hand, but... My opponent has like Liliana. Marginally, Knight of Autumn. Eh. Sure. Blow up the Vial, I assume? Yeah. Does we just play a Wisp for no value? Wisp, leave up Source of Plowshares. Not very likely to plow this Knight of Autumn, that's for sure, but... If they, like, play a Bob or a Knight, I can just, like, be mana efficient and plow it. That's kind of annoying. Not the Knight I was expecting. Yeah, they switched from Rex Age to Knight of Autumn just because it's basically strictly better in this deck. Since they're already playing white, and they don't care that it's an elf. You can still Green Sun for it. It's, like, marginally annoying. Do have to find an answer to that pretty quick. We're at 20, so I'm not going to plow this anytime soon. I'm much scared of a Knight of the Reliquary or a Dark Confidant. Well, an Army of X1s is not super great against Liliana Last Hope. Yeah, it's like green. Well, that probably can get a plow. That thing is marginally annoying. 2 Council Judgment. We have 2 Council Judgment, 2 Cataclysm, or just like things with more than 1 toughness. Definitely not second Caracas. Notably, we can also Wisp the Lily to buy ourselves a couple turns. Not the best play, but prevents this Lily from bolting. Ghost Quarter, sure. My opponent has 3 cards in my hand, which makes me nervous, though. If they're just, like, not playing anything. Makes me feel like that their hand is just a bunch of removal spells. Like, if they have a Punishing Fire, we're in pretty bad shape. But Night of Autumn's not a fast clock. Wisp plus Cleric if we're in Desperation mode. Yeah, that seems like very loose, though, considering they have... considering they just have 3 cards in their hand that they're not casting, they usually just plus the Lily on one. And then just kill the other. What's up, Lunik? How's it going? Cataclysm would be... Well, 3rd Flicker Wisp is a card, or I guess 4th. We've just drawn all 4 of them. I think that's most of the creatures that have 1 toughness in my deck at that point. Recruiter doesn't really count, because it at least tutors for a creature with more than 1 toughness, but we poured out all our Athalias and Moms, so I think we've managed to draw everything. Notably, I don't think they have Punishing Fire in my hand, because they're not just, like, hitting me in the face with it and buying it back. They might be, like, playing around in Surgical, though. We are also on just a 4-turn clock from my opponent's idiot brigade over here. What on earth? Ah, of course. We feel our exponential Spirit. Yeah, Spirit Keeper might. But now we're probably like pretty hosed. Nissa Vital Force seems like an interesting one. Forgable just plays like the weirdest Planeswalker suite. But yeah, it was our turn to cast nothing and die. After our opponent casted nothing and died. Game 1. No, maybe I shouldn't have just ran it back. Might have wanted to bring Relic Order, but a lot of the times I see them like shave Mox Diamonds and such. Oof, this hand sucks. Oof, this hand also sucks. These are the type of hands that I keep and then always just lose to a Wasteland. But I think on 6, it's like kind of priced into it. Mulliganing to 5 seems really poor. If they mulligan to 6, I might. But we also have Spirit Keeper, which isn't nothing. Oh man, they're Mox Diamond hands. Those are so much harder to beat. Oh god. They discard a Wasteland. Please, for the love of God, don't have a life. They would have cast Loam. I think we're just going to run out Ballista, even though they could easily have a removal spell. We just like need to get on the board, get creatures in our grave for the Spirit Keeper to do something. Thing's immune to Liliana of the Veil, because they can't play it in Edict. Then I just ping the Lily. If they play Liliana of the Last Hope, it's super obnoxious, but no, fuck. Of course. At least we drew another land. I wonder if I'm supposed to just like feed these wisps to the Lily, or just play Spirit Keeper right now to try and pressure it. I think there are just too many cards that answer a Hallowed Spirit Keeper for my opponent. My opponent could have like Deluges, Golgari Charms, and stuff. If they like just kill the Spirit Keeper, so if they have Plow, we're just like fucked either way. If they kill the Spirit Keeper, they can ping off one of the spirits. I only have 1 left over, and this Lily's at 4, which is not good for me. I might need like one more spirit. Wisp. Let's look at their Mox Diamond. Yeah. That's basically my plan. I think we're running out of the first one. Oh, Jesus. If they just, like, wasteland me here, we're super dead. If we don't draw land number 3. Ooh. But now they just wasteland me again after I Ancient Tomb in. I think I just have to play. I have to play Spirit Keeper now because my opponent can just loan back Wasteland, and I can't guarantee just continually hit my land drop. And they have Tabernacle. Oh yeah, they have Tabernacle for my spirits too. Lol. Let me just run this out though. Six times that the window has popped up. Yeah, I'm not sure this deck's like sideboard is in the right place. I don't think I like just like 4 of Chalice in a format like this. It's just not as powerful as it could be. That's beatable. Unfortunately, I can't play this Wisp because, again, we don't have, like, the white sources to... Although they have a... We know they have a Tabernacle in their hand, which I guess they just didn't play for some reason. But, like, wastelanding them's off the table. We can't play Wisp here. I think I'm just gonna, like, hit my land drops to try to be able to play through a Tabernacle on a bunch of my spirits. It's not super good. If I Flicker with this Mox Diamond, they can just discard the Tabernacle that we know is sitting in their hand. Flicker with the Lily to take it down by 2, but I don't think that matters. Also, just force them to discard the Tabernacle again. We can wasteland them off the Bayou, but then again, they can just load them back to play it, so this Knight can still just like tutor for whatever. I think we're just like pretty fucked here. We could draw Council's Judgment, I guess. Not Council's Judgment. Well, that would be okay. Cataclysm would be the one to draw. But even if we Cataclysm them, they can just keep land plus Mox, get back Loam, Loam their Tabernacle, Tabernacle my spirits. They get the second Knight of the Reliquary, sure. I don't have like a sort of war and peace, so I can't even attack through this. Also, the knight can just go get Mazavith. We could Wasteland Mazavith, I guess, but 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could Stoneforge play and equip GTA, but again, they just like knight for Maze because we have exactly 6 mana. So we'd have to tap the Wasteland to equip the GTA, and then they just Mazavith my Hallowed Spirit Keeper, which is not great. I think we're just very, very dead. I guess we're not, like, dead here. That's pretty bad. I was expecting something like Golgari Charm kill my spirits, which also would have been pretty bad, but that's life. The perfect card. Hey, get in there, cat. Come here. So my opponent can just like start attacking with these knights eventually, and I don't know why they're not. And also not activating them. They just make these knights huge, and we super die to them. Oh, a Cabal Pit too. Yeah, that does just kill my Sanctum Prelate. I'm backhousing now. Are we about to be X3? Is this match 4? No, we won't. Did we win? No, yeah, we're about to be X3. 1 and 3. So not good. 9/9, so those are pretty big. I'll block 1. Oh, they have a Punishing Fire in their hand too? That seems pretty strong. Oh, the perfect timing. More matchups. I'll give you a rundown in a second as soon as we die here. Maybe they'll vote for the other Knight of the Reliquary, and then we'd still probably lose. I don't think we could win even if my opponent voted for the other Knight. If I attack... I can't actually attack at all, or else I'm just dead on the spot. Probably still dead on the spot. Oh yeah, they just, like, plus on 1, P5 on the other, attack relevant, yeah. Alright, so we'll finish out the last round. So, we beat Black Reanimator, we lost to Sneak and Show, we lost to Goblins, and then we lost to 4-color Loam. Which, to be fair, it's hard to beat turn 2 Liliana of the last up against Loam. But we were kind of... Ancient Tomb has not been super impressive so far, but I've only played it 4 times, so... And obviously Goblins is just, like, a pretty abysmal matchup. Hello, cat. Oh god, I need to trim your claws. Those are some. You can go over here. Go on the bed. Goblins is so not indicative of how should we go. Yeah, like Goblins is just not super good, especially because they just printed like Crater Maker and Trash Master. I mean, Sneak sometimes you just lose. My opponent turned 2 Sneak Attack activated it in game 2, so like sometimes they just like have nuts hands and you don't have Force Will in your deck, so you die. There was also the line where I could have like cast a Thalia, but instead recruited for a Sanctum Prelate, but was not playing around specifically Sneak Attack plus Activate. Earl Quarter plus Thalia, put Paladin off show until to hopefully shut off cantrips. I guess that's fair. But like, I wasn't shutting off cantrips. They'd drawn 14 cards, and they discarded an Omniscience. They had show and tell Omniscience fatty. Or at least, like, show and tell Omniscience. And they showed me Wishes, so I would have had to have put Prelate on 3 off a show and tell to not die to, like, Wishes. Well, that sounds capable. What you got over there, bud? 4-color Loam. Whatever that other deck is. Maverick. Still could be either. I think we're just gonna Ballista this, though. I kind of want to plow it now. But you could, like, plow bigger things down the road. So plowing Mandorks isn't great. I think I'd rather, yeah. Just Ballista it. Opponent just thought his mom instead of Gideon by mistake. I guess sometimes there's a rationale to actually do that, but if your opponent was like, oh shit, I misclicked, I missed to click on that other card, then, oh, they're on elves? Well, fuck me. Now I wish I hadn't fired off that Walking Ballista. Would rather, like, cast it for 2 this turn. But I think Savannah Dryad Arbor is a lot more telling of, like, the other decks, where you want to keep Plow over Ballista, but that's life. Hey, where are I? Nope, get out of here, cat. You can't be on the desk. Yeah, if they said it in chat, then you have significantly more of a chance all of a sudden. So now we have to plow this Wirewood Symbiote instead of this Heritage Druid. Ooh, we can plow both now, which is just amazing. I'm not going to run out the Jite. We have 4 mana to play and equip it next turn anyway. So I don't want to open it up to, like, a... Cat, what are you doing? Come here, you'll... The cat has been such a pest. I want to play around Rock Mason Sage is what I was trying to say. I have the access to the 2 mana right now, but if my opponent just has, like, Green Sun for Rex Sage or something, I'd rather try to get a connection with it first. I hate you so much, cat. I'm glad you fell trying to jump onto that. Visionary, sure. Until they Rex Sage all our permanent. Well, I can only Rex Sage like my Vial and my GTA, right? And we can also Wisp our Stoneforge if we need to. If I go get Sword of Fire and Ice. Don't yay the cat. The cat's being a pest. I have another Ancient Tomb, I guess. Doesn't really do a lot, but... I don't think I can, like, unless they're planning on double blocking with a Dryad Arbor, they can't, like, blow me out with something weird here. If they double block with Dryad Arbor, like, fucking please. Chat, get down from there. This is why we lock you out, and then you sit in line at the door. Because you can't come in. It's because you're a huge pest. I could save my Stoneforge with, like, a Flicker Wisp on one of their X1s. I think I'd just rather have a Flicker Wisp in play. And just... well, I guess the Flicker Wisp is free, right? The Flicker Wisp could protect the Jite, though, notably, from, like, a Reclamation Sage. I'll have to put it in anyway. I wonder if I do just flicker out this Dryad Arbor. It only has 2 cards left in hand. Probably pretty reasonable to do that. Yeah. Because we're going to have to put this Flicker Wisp into play anyway. They just bank on me not having any creature. Yeah, I guess. Like, I mean, if you're, like, in a desperate situation, play your outs, right? By not wisping player on Rex Sage for another turn. Yeah, but my opponent also doesn't have a 3rd land. We could just, like, take them off of being able to cast a Reclamation Sage here. Unless they go land plus Rex Sage, and they can't Green Sun for it. They just, like, don't have a lot of outs. Green Sun for 1. Maybe, yeah, Symbiote, bounce the Visionary. That's a pretty good draw. Cat, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Why? Equip to this. Cat, stop being such a pest. Holy crap. I have one more match here. So they pick up the Visionary. And we just wasteland them. No, they're just like super far behind. Yeah. We did it. We did it, chat. Alright. Bring in a stack of Chalice of the Voids. And that looks like it. That looks like the only thing we bring in. Maybe Cataclysm? Cataclysm is a 3-mana play with Ancient Tomb. Might actually be a reasonable choice. Because you can, like, just blow up a bunch of your opponent's permanents. It's not good, but... I swear to Christ, cat. I'm gonna murder this cat. All she's doing is just walk around knocking shit off of tables.
Well, she's a cat.
Could like maybe buy Cataclysm, but I don't know what I would cut. Batter Skull plus something. I like having all the flyers. I like having, like, Revoker's obviously insane, Recruiter's fine. Mom's good, Stoneforge is good. Maybe I just, like, play one Cataclysm? Just the Miser's Cataclysm. Let's go like that. Maybe, like, a Singleton Judgment's better than Singleton Cataclysm. Constant Judgment can beat Progenitus, but they usually don't. Out. Skull, Sword, Thalia. Well, I like Sword in this matchup, just as like a backup shittier Jite, because oftentimes they do just blow up your Jite. I don't think this hand is keepable. We do have Chalice, we do have Vial, but we just, like... Yeah, cut all the Thalias. Thalia's terrible. Like, Snap cut all the Thalias, or the first cuts against elves easily. Sounds like close to being actually okay. If we draw a second land on turn 2, we actually get to connect with GTA on turn 3. We get like Violent Mom, play GTA on turn 2, and then turn 3 equip the Mom attack. It has a lot of good tools, but just like not the mana. But unlike the draw, maybe I just need to get lucky. I think we can get better 6 than this, right? I think we can get better 6 than this. This is debatably a better 6. Don't want second Vial. Could double Vial on turn 1, but I don't really think that's what I want to do. Thalia is pretty terrible. Thalia just is not good against the 9 million mana deck. Ooh, Walking Ballista is a pretty strong one. We can recruit something. I might just cast Sword of Fire and Ice. Depends on what my opponent does. Like, if my opponent plays a Heritage Druid, I think I just need to Ballista it. Birchlow Rangers, the shitty Heritage Druid, is phenomenally less scary. Like, just Visionary here. Symbiote. I wonder if I'm supposed to ping Symbiote. We drew a land, so if we just play Sword here, we can actually untap, equip Sword to Mom, and also, like, ping Symbiote out of the way so they can't, like, bounce protect. Or we could, like, play Ballista on 2 if that's our game. I don't hate just trying to get a little lucky here. My opponent also could, like, Rex Age the Sword, but it's not the end of the world, because, again, we do have Ballista on 2 to follow that up. They do pick up the Rex Age with the Werewood, and we ping it off, and they play Rex Age again, but... I guess they can't Rex Age my Ballista if I have a Mom in play. Ballista can take over if we live through this turn. I think we're in an okay spot. The issue is that my opponent could easily kill me from here. Bounce like that makes me a little uncomfortable. They're just like, glimpse the shit out of me. Yeah. Oh geez, glimpse Nettle Sentinel plus shitty Werewood. Or shitty Heritage Druid. And Gaia's Cradle, fuck. And just actual Heritage Druid. Oh, well, we're probably fucked. We need them to brick pretty hard. Also notably, like, me playing a Ballista on 1 instead here isn't super powerful, because the only thing I could have pinged was this Wirewood. And my opponent could have done all this without the Wirewood, or most of this at least, without the Wirewood in play. Guess I gave them an extra man off that Cradle. But I'm going for, like, the maximum upside lines are probably fine. I want to Vital on this Mon, I'm just looking at F6, but... Not a good plan. They trying to, like, NO me? Rex Age. They do have Rex Age. Doke. Please Rex Age my Vial. So I can just... Oh, thank you. Finally put in this mom in F6. Thank you for releasing me from this prison. Ugh. Don't know what my opponent's trying to cast here. I've stopped paying attention to anything my opponent is doing. Green's out for 1. Going to get like another Wirewood probably. Or like another Nettle. Quarry Ranger? Yeah, I guess that works. I know for Hope is just lethal. Not yet, right? They only have 1 creature without Summoning Sickness? I guess I haven't done the math. 6. Oh, yeah, maybe it is. My opponent seems to think so. That is 20. 19 if you count my... Yeah, hard to win games on the draw in this matchup, but if we have, like, just Ancient Tomb Chalice next game, we might have a shot. This hand does not feel very keepable. If I had an Ancient Tomb, I might actually keep this, because that means, like, I have the possibility of turn 3 GTA connection, but I don't think that Mom into Stoneforge into put in GTA into equip it is going to do it for this matchup. Might have to keep this, like, significantly worse 6. Hope to scry into something. Opponent also mulligan to 6. I don't hate keeping this when my opponent also mulls, so we have, like, some reasonably disruptive elements. Between, like, Plow a Guy, Wasteland the Land, Portal Land, and hopefully find something. But I could also buy mulling to 5, trying to find Chalice. Meh. Put mulligan to 5. Again, the further my opponent goes down on cards, the more I like this hand. Opponent goes to 3. Holy shit. I don't think I want second Wasteland. I think I just want action. My opponent is likely not to have 2 Wastelandable lands. So if my opponent goes like non-basic Guy, we just plow it, Wasteland it. Do I plow this or Wasteland this? Maybe I just port it. Cradle. Interesting. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Now I kind of want to plow plus Chalice on 1, but I also like plow plus like port Cradle. And then next turn I can Wasteland Cradle plus Chalice. I want to get this plow out of my hand before I cast. So we're definitely plowing this Wirewood here. We're also definitely attacking. I'm not sure if I like Chalice this turn. Chalice and Waste Cradle. I don't want to Chalice with I like have a plow in my hand. Need to get the 1-drops out of my hand. So I give them access to like 2 mana here. If they have a Guy, they can like I guess they can't play 1-drops though. They have 2 mana, but they can only cast like 2-drops with it. But they could cast like Rex Sage. They have 2 cards left in hand though. Would they? I'm tempted to just Chalice here. Definitely tempting. It also lets me, on the following turn, I can just, like, Flicker Wisp for finally a clock, and then also Wasteland them. Yeah, they have 2 cards in hand. We'll Chalice on 1. That's a good sign. That's what I like to see. That is what I like to see. Okay, that doesn't matter. Oh man, second Cradle. Well, we have double port now, so not a huge deal. I would have wasted the Arbor because the Cradle doesn't even make mana. I guess that's fair. Because they also like can't play a 1-drop. That's definitely fair. Don't really know what they're floating for, but I'll let it go away and then just port the Cradle in their draw step. Opponent really likes clicking through that box, I guess, to just bluff nothing. Oh, fuck. Just get to, like, Ballista them to death now. Jesus, this doesn't feel particularly fair. You can throw in the towel at any time, opponent. Feel free. Opponent's sticking it out. I'm supposed to, like, port or just pump this Ballista. Probably just pump this Ballista. Just, like, accelerates the clock substantially. They're just, like, dead next turn now, right? Like, what are they gonna do with 2? If they draw a land, play a land, and they have a 2-drop, what are they gonna do? They can't abrupt any of my creatures. They can abrupt the Chalice, and then, like, do nothing. I don't think the port's particularly useful. Fuck off, Dryad Arbor. I think I'd lethal if I didn't just ping that. What can they do with no mana untapping? I mean, like, they could, like, if we have a slower clock, they can do something, right? So if I pump this, hit them for, well, hits them for 5. Could attack with the Mom, but could also, like, Chalice on 2, but whatever. They do have 1 mana. Could probably attack with the Mom. Yeah, they're just dead. Sure, whatever. Sick, we beat Elves. Oh, I forgot to concede to that guy, because that was definitely out of prize contention. Sorry, Elves. He kind of deserved it. He was playing Elves. But yeah, none of those matchups felt like a lot like I was happy to see Ancient Tomb at any given moment. I guess game 1 against Elves, if I hadn't have top decked the 4th land, then I wouldn't have been able to, like, play and equip the GJ when I had it. I had, like, guaranteed play equip GJ with just the 3rd land being an Ancient Tomb rather than having to, like, desperately hope to top deck a 4th land, because I definitely have been in that position as, like, traditional Death and Taxes. Of, oh, well, I have 3 lands and a Stoneforge Mystic. I really hope I draw a 4th one so I can actually just, like, cast the GJ and equip it and get it online a turn earlier, and then you miss the 4th land drop, which is pretty rough. but I kind of hate like where this sideboard doesn't feel like it's attacking a lot of the right decks in the format right now. Like, so against, I guess it's okay against some of them, but it just the quad chalice feels very clunky. Like we're playing against Delver. It's just like 2 Council's Judgments, 2 Spirit Keepers, I guess. No Paths is rough. Do you board in Chalice against Delver decks when you're also like a Swords of Plowshare, some other runes deck? There's like a really awkward anti-synergy there. Like as normal Death and Taxes with 2 Chalices in the board, I'd say like snap no, don't board in Chalice, but is like 3 Ancient Tombs, 4 Chalices worth the attempt to turn 1 Chalice Void on your opponent and that sort of stuff. It just like makes for some really awkward deck building decisions. Like your combo matchups, not some of the combo decks in the format like don't care or can definitely play through a Chalice on one. Like the biggest one is Sneak, right? Omni Sneak, whatever the deck is right now. Chalice Void is kind of a hindrance because they have a lot of cantrips, but like they can still just cast Show and Tells and sneak attacks and like put in Omnisciences and Emrakuls and stuff. Chalice Void is a card I would board in, but not be like super happy about. That's a matchup where you want stuff like Thalia and Sanctum Prelate and Rashadenport to try to prevent them from getting to that stage of the game. I also did not like obviously Double Fairy Macabre makes sense because you're playing 4 Chalices, so you can't really play Surgical. But we play against 4-color Loam, and not having Surgicals is a lot more miserable than, or like Fairy Macabre is a lot more miserable than Surgical in that matchup. Just in general, also notably, I think with 3 Ancient Tombs, you don't need 24 lands. I think I said that at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if you were here when I said that. I mentioned it a couple times, but like the normal Death and Taxes lists are teetering between 23 and 24. And I think if you have 3 Ancient Tombs, they kind of like boost you up to an artificial 24 lands already. So I think you could afford to like play more random stuff in this deck. Because 3 Ancient Tombs means that you kind of have a decent amount of air. The issue that I guess the one thing that I did note though is when I mentioned at the beginning is that cutting a land means that you might be going down critical white sources though. That or you're cutting Ancient Tombs, then what's the point if you're playing like 2 Ancient Tombs in this deck or another Port, and Port is really good and already sucks to be playing 3. So that might be a reason for 24 lands, just to have like a balance between number of tombs and white sources. But the deck felt like fine. It was just a Death and Taxes deck. Ancient Tomb didn't impress me. It didn't like not impress me. It was just a land that was sometimes convenient, sometimes annoying, and just all in all, like I don't think it's worth it personally. Just there's not a lot of appeal to it. Like the quad chalice on the board is not a plan that I like too much in the meta right now. Is the biggest thing I guess is what this whole like talking in circles thing is trying to say. Like quad chalice is not as strong in this meta as it could be. Like Chalice isn't super good against Grixis. I might bring it in because we're on like the quad Chalice all-in version rather than like just 2 Chalices in the board. You're 1 extra right now for what is the minimum, so you could cut up plans. Yeah, maybe. Like I don't know the whole math on casting your bevy of white cards. Also, possibly a second Ballista. Ballista is really good, especially if you're playing Ancient Tombs. So I could definitely see like another Ballista in the sideboard maybe or something, maybe in the main deck. But Ballista is just like a really absurd card, especially if you're playing Soul Lands. I could definitely buy being on more of these guys. I think that's about it. Seemed fine, played fine. I don't like just like the lack of like aggro hate. Like how are you ever like Eldrazi seems like a pretty rough one. If I queued into Eldrazi, it's like Council's Judgment's good, Cataclysm's okay if they're on the post version, pretty bad if they're on Stompy, and Relic Order's okay, but like, Path to Exile is a rough card to cut to be playing all these chalices. So I think you're kind of hurting your more aggressive matchups like Delver, Burn, Eldrazi. I'm sure I'm thinking like there's another deck in my head somewhere, but can't rattle it off here. But and you're gaining extra power in like being able to cast not even really like cast stuff ahead of time too much is the other thing. Like, did I have trouble with the low matchup, which I never did before. I mean, I don't think the low matchup is particularly like different. I guess I boarded in less cards, right? Because I don't board in path. What was my sideboard like? It's like I brought in these 8. I usually bring in like a surgical and like some paths out of the board or whatever. Delver's interesting type of thing. We can chat about it later if you want. Just like hit me up on Discord or something. I'd be free to like chat about this deck more in depth. Pick your brain, give you my thoughts. Obviously, I only played it for like 1 league, so I don't have a lot of experience. I didn't play against Miracles or Grixis, so like a lot of what I'm saying is purely theoretical rather than like practiced. I could buy like Dismember or something maybe. Some like removal spells are nice, but Dismember sucks. Like taking 4 damage is a ton. Maybe Blessed Alliance. Yeah, definitely some weird matchups like blue black Reanimator, goblins. Some weird shit. What do we play at the end? I've already forgotten. Oh, I guess elves. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Blessed Alliance is a card I played. I played an iteration that had Chalice's main at some point, and like Plows in the sideboard for like when you swapped Plows and Chalices out. This was a long time ago. This was like a couple years back. But it had Blessed Alliance in the sideboard, which is definitely like a pretty reasonable card. Being able to escalate it also helps some of your aggro matchups. You gain 4 life, you can kill Reality Smashers or Thought Knots. You can escalate it into you can like escalate it untapping Moms leads to some sick blowouts. I killed a Progenitus with it during the tournament once. So Blessed Alliance isn't a bad option as like removal spell that doesn't interact negatively with Chalice of the Void. And is also like still a reasonable Magic card to be playing. I don't hate playing Blessed Alliance in this deck. Obviously, the Goblins are just gonna be like a fucking shit matchup. the Ancient Tombs and Chalices don't really lead me either way in that matchup. It's just like, well, shit, Goblins. They're playing Trash Master and Crater Maker now. It's just gonna beat your face in. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Crixus plan was. I know. Phil's on the board in Chalice even on just normal D&T, but I kind of hate Chalice against Crixus. But I said it at the beginning. I mentioned that this is the beginning of the stream too. Of like, you can just being able to cast Chalice on 1 and trying to shut off their cantrips earlier because you can just like play it on turn 1 more often might make it better. And also like 4 Chalices plus 3 equipment plus like a bunch of other stuff. You kind of like strain their cooldowns commands amongst a lot of things. Board out Vials and their lands and spells, maybe. You have less air in your deck, but like Vile Flicker Wisp is also a way that you can like drag games out for Grixis, being able to counter their removal spells and like play tricky. Having Ancient Tombs still means that we ran into this a couple times too, that like being able to like port and cast a creature in the same turn. Ancient Tomb doesn't really help you do that too much in the early turns just because it taps for 2 mana. So usually you're like, if I have Plains, Ancient Tomb, Port in play, I can't play Athalia and still port them. So there's obviously like that awkward tension that came up a couple times where like it interacts unfavorably with some of your mana denial elements just because it's a very tap outy card. Also, playing it on Moto, we had to click through you have 1 floating mana. Are you sure you want to pass priority here? So like, fuck that. Obviously, cut all the Ancient Tombs because I don't want to click through that stupid menu 6 times in a league. Notably, though, the Chalice of the Void deck that I played was actually red-white. It was splashing. It's kind of free because you're already playing 3 ports, but also you have to play like Caverns, and it's really awkward with a bunch of like dual costed things and Caverns and Ancient Tombs now. I'll have to like see if I can go dig up the list, but think of the alternative. Then you have 3 lands and couldn't. Yeah, I mean like the alternative means like you having Vial, being able to Vial and still utilize your mana is nice. Being able to like Vial end threats and still like port and wasteland your Grixis opponent is sorry, that's what I was trying to allude to when I was talking about that. And you were talking about cutting Aether Vials. It just means that in the early turns you can't deny them on mana as hard. which is generally what I like to do against Grixis, is just like Aetherfile into Port, into like Thalia, Wasteland, whatever. Are you keeping Spirit Keeper post-board in the mirror? Probably not. It depends on how many cards you have to board in and out in that matchup. If you have like more than 5, I assume you're talking about like my like normal Death and Taxes deck, right? Not this one, because this one doesn't have any main deck. So we look at that. I have how many cards for the mirror? There we go. So 2 councils, 1 recruiter, 1 relic order, 2 paths is 6 cards. So you cut 4 Thalias, 1 prelate. You have 1 more cut. Yeah, I'd probably cut the Spirit Keeper just because there aren't really any other cuts in the deck. If you have 5 cards, you board out all the Thalias and the prelate first, but if you have 6 if you have 6+ cards to board in, then Spirit Keeper is probably the 6th cut in the deck. After that, it's probably like Batter Skull or Shave a Mirren Crusader or something. Probably Shave a Mirren Crusader as 7th cut, and then like Batter Skull's 8th cut or something. All depends on your sideboard and stuff, but yeah. Spirit Keeper is the 3rd worst card in your main deck against the mirror. Anyway, I've done enough yammering about this deck. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Thanks for the share, Yaz. Keep me posted on like how you do. If you like, let me know like where you think Ancient Tomb is the strongest too. I'd love to talk about that specifically because that's my biggest concern is that like I don't see what's really drawing me to Ancient Tomb. Yeah, Shaving to 1 Crusader is also fine. It's like pretty marginal. Also, you could be playing a Palace Jail in this deck. Pretty sick to like turn 3 Palace Jail with an Ancient Tomb. Seems pretty strong. You like turn 2 Recruiter off of like Plains Ancient Tomb, turn 3 Second Plains Palace Jailer. Seems like could be powerful. I think you probably want a Palace Jailer somewhere in this deck, but I know some people like hate Palace Jailer. I used to be like that, so. Alright, yeah, feel free to hit me up. I'm going to bed though. Like, hit me up tomorrow. You can message me whenever you want, and I'll answer when I can. Anyway, got the Spirit Keeper Master at my disposal. I hope that's my moniker. I just become like the Spirit Keeper Guru. There's like cases where Spirit Keeper can be good in the mirror, but obviously there are cases where Crusader can be good too, and Crusader's upsides are pretty absurd with equipment stuff. Anyway, that's enough talking about this deck. Let's go find someone to host, and I'll give my end of stream spiel and all that jazz. Who's playing Legacy right now? Holy crap, Barra's on. I never know how to pronounce his name, but Barra's online. Wait, this other guy's playing D&T though. Shit. He's got 80 viewers. This other guy's got 5. We'll go host the guy playing D&T. Always gotta look out for the little guys, you know? Guy playing the D&T mirror, poor soul. Anyway, we're gonna host this guy. What's his name? I think it's streamed in Portuguese, but Stenbook. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. Thanks again to Yaz for the deck list. If you like the stream, you want to see more Death and Taxes content, feel free to follow, subscribe, or donate. Follows are totally free, help you know when I'm going live, and help other people find my channel. Subscriptions get you a sweet Thalia emote and Thraben-themed subscription badge in the chat. And donations, I'd be more than happy to play through a Death and Taxes list that you want to see run through a league. If you want to see it, like different color splashes, modern, legacy, whatever, just hit me up beforehand, let me know, send me a deck list, I'll see what I can do. Other than that, you can subscribe to me on YouTube or follow me on Twitter. Links for those are both down below. YouTube is where I post all my streams after they go live, so this one will be going up right after I shut down the stream. And Twitter is when I post when I'm going live, so as well as other Magic content. One last thing, thank you to Cardboard Live for their sweet decklist extension. For those of you on mobile right now, they've updated their Cardboard Live app, so you can actually look at the decklist on mobile too without typing !decklist. There should be like a little puzzle piece icon if you're on mobile Twitch, and you can look at the decklist. For desktop viewers, there should just be like a button you can click on Cardboard Live, and there should be like a thing that pops up around the side over here somewhere. Anyway, that'll be it for tonight. Thanks everyone for coming and hanging out. I'll see you guys on Friday for probably some regular death and taxes. We'll find out. Catch you guys all later. Catch you guys all later, maybe, if this host goes through.